Lenge kamsang tashtile nyemingla Nyima Woeser Tande chal imperial zugla lobda chemo nangla mendegi lobjong cheshingyu. Taringi litse di nang nye tongmo kaching tang hindu pyogi losar kor lingmo nangei. Pyogi losar kor mirik shembegi tonang dang tendang yongse lirim di inge nangla lingmo nangei. And also we have a little surprise for you at the end of this video after our discussion. So could you please introduce yourselves?
다시대 님이나 Sonam Tsomo 나로 주치이 nga Londonney.
다시대 님이나 Tenzin Noryang 나로 주인 and I am born and raised in England.
다시대 님이나 Tenzin Lodhen 나로 주인 아니게 Londonney.
So we're going to start the questions, yeah? So could Sonam, could you tell me about what Losar means?
In Tibetan, Lo means year and Sa is Sabba, which means new year, new. So means Tibetan New Year.
So there are many different types of Losar. So could you give us a few examples of the different types of Losar there are, Londe?
Some of the different types of Losar are Sonam Losar, which are for the farmers, and Lama Losar, which is prior to Losar.
So there's obviously we know that we're Tibetans, we celebrate Losar, but are there any other parts of the world that also celebrate Losar?
Countries such as Bhutan, North Himalayan regions in India and Sikkim as well.
So how do we celebrate Losar, and like what are the different parts of Losar? Because we know that there are 4 different parts. So can anyone explain what that is?
First we have Guduk, which is celebrated on the 29th day of the 12th Tibetan month. Then there's Namgang, which is the day before Losar. Losar, which is the first day of the first Tibetan month, and Lasang, which is the auspicious day after Losar.
So you mentioned that Gutuk was the first part of Losar. So what does Gutuk mean?
Gutuk is a Tibetan soup and it consists of 9 ingredients or more. And it kind of, there's like it's kind of like a mini fortune cookie, and it has paper bits inside, and it tells you what your next year is going to be like.
So you did say about the fortune cookies. So can you tell us what we do on Namgang?
On Namgang, we get ready for Losar, such as decorating and buying chuba.
So what are the 4 main pool offerings, and can you explain the meaning of those?
Usually the parents wake up earliest and they make the first offering, which is the chupu, and second is the changpu, which is Tibetan wine, and third is the chaupu, which is the tea offering, and lastly is the zupu, which is the edibles.
So you mentioned that you have the altar offerings that are done by the parents or the grandparents of the family, but we also have individual offerings. So could you please explain what the individual offerings are?
There is changpo, which is Tibetan wine, and chewo, which is like roasted barley and wheat.
So we know that many Tibetans live abroad, so we don't live in Tibet, or we don't live in India as well. So for example, like us, we live in the UK and we often have busy lives. We have like school, work, so not everyone can celebrate Losar, so how do we adapt like the Losar rituals and activities to adapt, like fit our daily lives?
So instead of celebrating Losar on the day, you can switch the day to the weekend or a day that you're free.
So we're talking about how we celebrate Losar. So how do Tibetans usually celebrate the first and the second day of Losar?
On the first day, they prefer to stay indoors and spend time with family and eat food. And then the second day, you go around to a friend's house and exchange gifts.
I'd probably say I enjoyed the first day most because I like wearing new clothes. So can anyone explain the meaning of what a chisham or altar is?
A trisham consists of there's 7 things and you pour water in it to offer it to the gods and Buddha. There's also you burn incense, so it makes a nice smell around the trisham, and you can place butter lamps or candles on the trisham as well.
Sonam, you mentioned that we often eat kapse like the first, the second day, and like during Losar as well. So Londe, could you tell us what kapse is?
Kapse is traditional Tibetan cookies where you have different shapes and sizes that people like to eat.
Now moving on to what a dirga is. So could you tell us what a dirga is and kind of like some of the ingredients or like just like things that we use to make the dirga?
Dirga is an altar with offerings with things such as pungomju with snacks like chocolate or kapse.
When I was a kid, I used to wait like the number of days because you can like take off the chocolate and then I would be like waiting to eat the chocolate. It's currently 2024, but can anyone tell me what the Tibetan year is?
So the Tibetan year is 2151, so it's 127 years older than the Gregorian calendar.
It's 2151, so how do we explain that like with the Tibetan calendar and how is like the Chinese zodiac different?
So it started off in 127 BC where King Nyima was enthroned, and from then we have been celebrating it, and also each year there comes a different animal which are 12 and there are 5 elements which are also included as well.
Thank you for our guests for answering all my questions, and thank you for watching this video, and we wish you a very happy Losar.